Alright, got something different here again. I just picked this up. It's a domestic, and they're desirable engines because let's see, it says they're domestic 3800. That's probably just a die number. But anyway, they're a pretty desirable high-end engine. I got Mike looking at it here.
Yep.
I'm not sure what year it is. I checked a few serial numbers, and I think it might be around 1919 or a little less.
Oh yeah.
I'm not too sure. But Mike is going to get it running, and he's not familiar with these at all.
No, I never owned one. I never worked on one. So.
But everything's loose, you know, the valves work and everything like that, and he's just eyeing it up and seeing what we got. I guarantee you we're going to get it running tonight. But
yeah. Well, looking up here at the front, you know, I see a couple things that are familiar, a couple things that look a little bit out of place. First thing that looks a little bit out of place is this little copper strip of copper here with a screw running through the exhaust rocker, and it looks like somebody was using it as a contact for the ignition timer, but there's a factory contact over here.
Right. This is a buzz coil, right, Mike?
It's buzz coil driving a spark plug. Yeah, high tension buzz coil.
Yeah, there are ones out there like this that have the mag, but this one's actually designed for that buzz coil.
You're right. So
show them the side shaft, Mike.
Oh, okay.
This is what makes this engine so unique.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things everybody likes to see these gears up here running. I don't even know what you call them, like spiral cut gears. So you got the crankshaft driving what's called the side shaft here, which holds your timer for the ignition, and the cam lobe, which is interesting where it's on the end of the shaft there. See how it rides along that and hits the roller there, actuates the exhaust. And you have here the latch out. So when the engine gets up to speed, the governor weight will move out, push this rod forward, which will move the catch here onto the latch out block. So it would essentially do that, and then it would hold the exhaust valve open, let the engine coast down, and then at a specified speed it would snap back out like this, and it would go through another compression stroke, another intake stroke, compression, power, and then once it would get back up to speed, that cycle would repeat itself. This is a good engine to actually show the theory of operation for a hit and miss engine, because it's all exposed right here in your face.
Right.
It's not all tucked away. So I took the bolts out for the back cover here. This engine is designed to be enclosed more or less. It's total loss lubrication. It doesn't have an oil sump or anything like that. But
Mike says this is actually a pump engine, and I think that's what these 4 bolts are. Actually holds a mud pump, right, Mike?
Exactly, yeah. So you have the engine, and it would be on a big cart or a big base.
Right, bigger.
And then a big diaphragm pump would bolt up to the end here, and would be driven off of this gear here that's cut on not cut into the crankshaft, but that's sleeved onto the crankshaft there. So
yeah, I've seen them with the mud pump on.
Yeah, but typically either the mud pump froze because it wasn't drained. People remember to drain the engine, but they don't drain the mud pump,
right,
and it freezes over the winter and it becomes scrap metal. Or for whatever reason, somebody said, hell with that pump, I just want the engine. Which oftentimes happens. The engine's more interested in the pump for most people, at least to me. So, we're looking it over. It looks like a good engine. We see a couple little issues that...
Minor stuff.
Yeah, they won't keep it from running, but we're going to take a little closer look. And one is, we've got some slop there in the wrist pin. You see it wiggling back and forth there? So I want to figure out what the cause is of that, and if that's something that we have to be concerned with, because there's a pinch bolt on the connecting rod that's gripping the wrist pin, and then so the wrist pin should be floating in the piston, but then you've got these 2 bolts here with these lock nuts that look like they're supposed to lock the wrist pin. So I don't know what's supposed to move. Is the rod supposed to move on the wrist pin, or the wrist pin supposed to move in the piston? So we're gonna pull it out, inspect it, and see what's going on there.
You notice a little play back here. You can take that out with the shims, though, right?
What's that? Yeah. Oh, if there's some slop here in the rod. I mean, not this end play like that, but we can correct it with a little bit of shim. Looks like there's a big brass one in there now, and there might be a little piece of like a little sheet in there we could pull out. But If not, we can file that shim down and get the clearance a little bit tighter.
Okay.
So.
All right, well, let's take the piston out and see what we got.
Alrighty.
All right. Here we got the end cap off and the babbitt, the connecting rod, and everything else looks beautiful.
Yeah, the babbitt could probably stand to be scraped to get it back square, but we don't know what the crank is like either, so it's probably best to just leave it alone.
Right, right.
You know? It's not a race car, you know?
Nope.
We got a little bit of end play in the crank there, that's no big deal. We'll have to check our main bearing clearances while we have the connecting rod off. We'll lift the flywheel, so let's see if we can slide the piston out here. We might be able to slide it out the back. Depends. Let's see. Some of them come out the back, some of them don't.
Looks like that one does.
Okay. There you
Wow.
go.
Look at that carbon.
Dripping a little oil there.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
4 rings. Wow.
Yeah, for what? Are they 1/4 inch or are they maybe that's smaller? That's maybe 3/16 rings. That's interesting. Not sure what's going on here with this wrist pin. We're gonna have to take a closer look at that.
I'll have to go put it on a bench.
Yeah, I think so. But let's set that aside for right now.
Need a flashlight?
Let me see if I can find something. It's way over there. Right. Grab it.
I don't want to see anything. You see anything?
No, no pitting. That's good.
Wow.
Good sign.
Yeah, always a good sign. Okay. All right, let's put that on a bench and clean it up and see what's going on with that.
All right.
All right, Mike has it all taken apart and cleaned up a little bit, and what's this?
Yeah, just degreased
The verdict.
Well, we got some wear in the wrist pin and the piston primarily. So what we discovered, the operation of this, so the connecting rod does clamp down onto the wrist pin, and the wrist pin is supposed to pivot in the piston. It's a little bit interesting how it does, how they've accomplished that. Let me see if we can pull this out here. So what they've got, they got 2 set screws here on the wrist pin bearing here. So at the bottom of these threaded holes there's a brass plug, and the brass plug bears down on the wrist pin here. Let me see if I can reinsert that. I guess it really doesn't matter, but and then the wrist pin is supposed to just move back and forth just a little bit in this as the bearing surface. So the bearing is cast iron on steel, and they've got a V-groove cut into the piston here where the cylinder oiler will drip down here. The oil runs down, goes through this hole, lubricates the piston wrist pin bore. So
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I've never seen that, and I don't know if Mike has.
no, I haven't seen that done before. I've seen engines that use the pinch bolt here, but usually they have a bronze bearing in the piston. So a little interesting.
No, I noticed too, Mike. Look how thick the wall is on that piston.
Yeah, it's not as thick as you think, because there's a step there, but
Oh,
it's still
okay.
pretty thick. Yeah.
Okay.
It's still
It
probably
was an illusion.
Yeah, it's still got some heft to it. So yeah, so we're just gonna dry these parts off, reassemble it. I'm gonna these the 2 set screws were a bit loose, so I should say too loose. So we're gonna tighten those up a little bit and go forward. Put it
Okay.
back together,
That's
lubricate
good.
it, and run it.
Okay. Good deal, buddy.
Alrighty.
All right. How'd you make out, buddy?
Well, I'm happy with it right now. For not using any new parts or any repaired parts, we got a lot of the the end play taken up in the rod. Pretty much none left now. We still have this side to side, but you're going to have that because the wrist pin is not locked anyway. There's no
Right.
retaining rings or anything, so you're going to have that back and forth.
I guess if
play.
you wanted to, you could probably shim it, right?
You could.
If you wanted to, but there's no reason to.
Right, but the problem is with that is then, depending on how you shim that, that's going to hold your connecting rod steady, and then if your crankshaft has a little bit of end play, then you're going to yank on the connecting rod and you're going to wear something out.
Right.
The engines were designed with lots of clearance in mind. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
there's to make it absolutely perfect is not the idea. You know.
Oh, that's good. Most people probably wouldn't even know what we did.
Well, yeah.
So what's on the agenda right now?
Well, the next thing we're going to come over here before we put this back in.
Oh yeah, I don't think we showed that, Mike. You showed me, but I don't think it was on camera.
Okay, well the PTO side or the drive side main bearing here. Look at this play here. See that?
Yeah, you know what? Go ahead.
See that there?
Yeah.
We're gonna see if we can take some of that out. That'll cut down on the knocking and the noise a little bit. The cam drive side, the side shaft drive side, is actually fine.
Yeah, that is. That's real nice.
Which makes sense. This is what's gonna have the load on it. So we're gonna pop this cap off and see if we can either take a shim out or file a shim down a little bit. It looks like there's shims in there, so that's a plus. So let's pop that off and have a look.
All right. Let's see how my mechanic's doing over here. I made him some shims. How they working any good?
Well, I got 4 of them. Well, let's first back up a little bit. So when we pulled the cap off, they had these little paper shims originally here, and most of them just kind of disintegrated. These are still fine. So we had to you whipped up a couple new ones for me. Yeah. So this is well, there's an old
original
one. Right, and there's a new one there. So just made out of like paperboard, cardboard.
Yeah.
So we got we got the bearing cleaned up. This one has taken a little bit of damage at some point. Something must have gotten in there and torn it up. But again, it's going to be fine for what this engine's going to do. So I'm going to put a little bit of let's see, where's our oil can at?
Right, there we go.
Yeah, so I'm just going to put a little oil on the crankshaft here. Set the main cap on, and then I'm going to grab the hardware, tighten
the
the
bolts?
cap down.
I just rethreaded them for you to make sure it was clean.
Yep.
Let me get them for you.
Tighten that cap down. All right.
You know, I noticed, Mike, it don't have double nuts on there.
No, they have lock washers.
Huh. That's
I don't
odd.
know if that's original, but that's what it's got on it now.
So I guess you just put the crank up on it?
Yeah. Well, you crank up on it until either they don't go any further or the crankshaft binds up. So the idea is that you snug them down,
Right.
but you want the crank to still be free spinning. So that's the thing, is usually they're double nutted for that reason. You crank the bottom one until you get your clearance right, and then you jam it with the top nut. This one, again, I don't know if these are original or not. So
we'll have to look over one of these next time at a show we see.
yeah. So let's see where we're at. I can still get quite a bit of, and that's tight now. Well, it's not tight, but it's starting
It spins,
to get tight.
yeah.
But that's actually too tight. So I'm gonna pull it back off because I could run these down some more, and that's going to bind it right up. So I'm going to put our last shim in on this side, and we'll see where we're at.
Okay.
Might need a socket for this one. This one's a little bit difficult to access with
Oh, yeah.
the adjustable. Let's see if I can take this grease cup off. It gave me a little bit more access. But I think we're pretty much there.
Not much access.
No, definitely not much access.
Let me see if I can get you a socket.
Okay.
Just heard Mike say he likes it. Well, you got plenty of clearance there for spin.
Yeah, it spins pretty good.
How about
let's
the
see.
play?
We should actually have 0, I would think.
Oh yeah, look at that. Wow.
I mean,
That's tight as a bullfrog's ass, buddy.
yeah. Grease. A little grease in there and it'll be perfect.
Good job.
We'll check the bearings after a little bit of run time, see if they warm up, but I think we'll be fine.
Okay.
Alright,
I'm actually gonna try and put the piston back in there.
yeah, I'm going to try to do it by hand. That might be a little bit difficult. Usually you can just compress the rings with your fingers, but it's got this little
little hood.
on it. Yeah, a little hood there.
Yeah.
So it might be a little bit difficult to do. We might have to use an actual ring compressor here.
Oh, good luck. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
No, I think I got one.
Yeah.
I don't know about that big.
Probably should.
Oh, look, he's got it. He's getting it. No,
Now I can't get any
can't get your fingers
any force
in
in there. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, something. You got something.
Yeah, if I just compress them, they seem to want to hop in on their own there.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Well, that is tapered, but it's still supposed to squeeze a little bit.
Yeah, let's see. Where's this one at? Let's see, where's the groove at? Oh, there it is.
Yep, there it goes.
One more.
Now we'll turn this back on after Mike has it in there. There we go. That didn't take long.
Yeah.
As soon as I turned it off, you put it in. Here we go. We don't need no compressor.
Yeah.
Old school, buddy.
Yeah, that's it.
I might just put the end cap on and tightened it, and he's spinning it. He's like what he sees.
We could probably file that a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we may.
Yeah.
Just because.
Just because we got it and you got the wrenches in your hand.
Yeah, we'll just take it and just take a little bit.
Just slide on some sandpaper.
Yep, that's it.
Alright.
Alright.
Alright. I think we're ready to go. Got my other mechanic here working on it.
Tubes.
Filling it up. Mike's lubing up the valves. I think he even adjusted the time in there a little bit.
Yeah, I got the timing set just a hair before top dead center. Just a hair before. So we're going to try that as our start.
Okay.
And if it fires and runs, then we'll leave it right alone. It shouldn't be too picky, actually.
Let me see if I can find you a spark plug.
I got one right here.
Oh, okay.
We got a spark plug. We will need some ignition gear, some wires,
Okay.
battery, all that good stuff.
Alright.
All right.
We got you covered.
Okay.
Alright. I don't know if you see all the smoke in here, but Mike wanted to see how much compression it had, and it started. It didn't even turn the wheels a half a turn. As soon as it got a spark to it, it just took off. He even said he's never had an engine start that easy. That was crazy, Mike.
It was. Domestic's good engine.
I'll say.
Let's see. I don't think we really need to do anything else to it right now.
No.
All the points are oiled. Some oil in the rods, so we don't have the rod oiler hooked up.
Hmm.
Let's see here.
Let's try it again. Look at that. That's crazy, man. He didn't even adjust he adjusted the timing, so it's a little bit ahead, but other than that. And even here, right?
What's that?
You hear a little rattling, but then Mike said, show him where that rattling is, Mike. Nut and bolt up there. You put your finger on that, you don't even hear this thing moving.
I could probably still take a little bit of clearance out of the wrist, out of the connecting rod.
Mm-hmm.
The big end of the connecting rod, you kind of hear that a little bit.
Right.
And remember that, you know,
Actually,
the
it's
wrist pin is still warm, you know?
Right. And it's also supposed to have a cover on it, so that would quiet it down, but I think I'm going to leave the cover off, Mike.
Yeah, or maybe put a thin cover on it, you know?
Like like an associate or something.
Right, yeah.
Because it does have another oiler. Well, I think that's a sweet running engine there, Mike. And the wheels are pretty straight. I wouldn't say absolutely perfect, but
this one's
pretty good, yeah.
The working side flywheel might...
Well, this one here is also, this one's way out on the shaft, too.
Oh, yeah.
If we got rid of that gear and pulled that pulley in a little bit, huh. I'm happy, Mike.
Yeah, I am too. This is a nice running engine.
And that's not the original muffler. That's like over Stover or something, right?
You know what? That's probably just a generic reproduction thing.
Yeah.
This muffler, you know?
So,
You can get them from like Starbolt or Hitting Miss
Right.
Prize or something, you know?
if we put sort of an original muffler like a big frying pan or something.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like a big...
Big ugly round thing.
Yeah, right.
But I bet you that would quiet this down. Wow. That's a happy engine there, man. He just wants to keep running. Oh, you can run this thing really slow if you wanted to.
I think so. Those wheels are pretty heavy. They're heavier than they look.
Yeah.
See, they're really thick in this area. You know?
Yeah.
So that'll keep it posted nice. And like, the way the connecting rod or the main bearings are shimmed right now, we're not losing any energy to them jumping around. They're pretty tight.
Yeah, explain that side shift to him, Mike, while it's running.
Oh well, I mean you can see here that it's the gear set.
Right.
You know, it's
Coming right off the crank.
there. But you can more easily see like the actual mechanism right here. There's your cam. There's your exhaust blower there. And there's that latch out I was talking to you about. So when the thing fires and speeds up, the centrifugal weight in the flywheel moves this lever forward here, this little piece of rod here, and that just engages this finger in the latch out block, and it's held in there. Right, it's held in there.
That's probably just wired out there. I bet he wanted to.
Yeah. I just gotta clean it up. Yeah, it's worn.
It is.
But
That's just over 100 years old.
yeah, but you know, it needs a little TLC. But it's a good engine.
It is, man. Domestic. Well, there you have it there. Just something else to play with, something to bring to the shows.
Yep.
Yeah, a buddy of ours, he made me an offer on this, and I just couldn't refuse. It was such a good deal. So I think we're going to make a different cart for it. Make an oak cart for it and put a wooden handle on it. This one here looks a little metal shopish, you know?
Right.
But it does the job. Right.
At least the handle does.
Right. Somebody had good intentions.
Sure.
And I'm happy, buddy. You happy?
Very happy.
You happy? Hey, you happy? He's happy. He's happy out there. Look at him. He wants to work on the Ford. He wants to go cruising. Oh well. All right, what do you say, guys? Enough of this? All right, enough of this. See you guys in the next one.
Get it.